Here's a remake of my B6 thoughts. I had a previous version up on YouTube that had some sound and echoing related issues, so I figured that I should just redo it. So B6 was last weekend, featuring a lot of European players that we normally don't get to see in the US, mainly because they don't really travel too much to the US. As usual, we saw players like Armada, Leffen, Ice, Professor Pro, and some other powerhouses there, along with some players from the US, such as Wobbles, Westballs, and Abate, who were I don't know who was exactly flown in the compendium, but this is, I believe, Abate's first time traveling to a European tournament. To no surprise, for the most part, Armada wins another tournament, beating Leffen in grand finals in 2 sets, losing the first one and then winning the second one, and dominating Westball's 3-1 in winners finals. And to a large part, this continues to just grow Armada's resume. And if we look at the results between EVO 2016 and now, he's made every single grand finals, lost DreamHack, and lost as his secondary Sheik against Leffen in a European tournament. But for the most part, his resume is impressive. Wins EVO, wins Big House, wins Genesis, wins B6. So we are actually coming to a point where we begin to question what kind of run is Armada going to have. So last time when Armada won Genesis 2, he ended up dominating Melee up until the point where he decided to retire after, I believe, Apex 2013. So there was a 2 to 3 year reign where Armada was clearly the best. Although he did drop sets from time to time, like it was always consistently a grand finals threat. And this is something we're seeing now, and who knows how long this lasts, with the fact that this time around there's enough money for Armada to sustain himself, whereas back in Genesis 2, back in like Apex 2013, it actually costed Armada most of his winnings just to even make it to America and back. So a trip, if he made it any worse than like 3rd place, he would actually be losing money. Now he doesn't have that pressure. Prize pools have increased very fortunately. So he's primed for a really good run, pending anything bad. Hopefully that doesn't happen. What else is there to talk about? A lot of Europeans there that made some really good performances overall. But largely the results were mostly predictable. Armada wins, and even the high tier of the Europeans, players like Zagetto, Triphasia, Beat, Reaper, and KaiW, they all had pretty solid performances, but nothing super spectacular other than maybe Triphasia getting 5th, defeating Abate and AMSA. So a pretty good performance for him, and I really do actually want to see him go to the United States for a big competition just to see where he'll fare. Maybe he's MACD level, maybe he isn't, but it'll be interesting just to see where he scales up at a US national. So hopefully if there's another compendium or donation drive that if we're ever going to fly another European, I know that Europeans tend to be a little bit more pricey than flying an American within the same country. I really do hope that's Trivasia. I'm really excited, really smart player, pretty technical and pretty solid. Professor Pro beat Wobbles, I'm not too surprised there. But for the most part, it was a pretty predictable result. Armada wins. Leffen gets 2nd. Leffen looked pretty good for the most part. It was good enough, at least, that he was able to make it to grand finals and take a set. I wouldn't say Armada and Leffen played spectacularly. I'd say they both played about a C-level game compared to what their normal standards are. A lot of missed punishes, a lot of sloppiness, missed tech skill. Very uncharacteristic of both of them. So although Leffen is slowly drifting back in, had his time where he couldn't really travel too much, mainly because most of the competitions were in America. It's starting to look better, but not one of his best performances. And finally, probably the main reason you guys are here, what do I think about the Leffen and Westball's rivalry? And to give context, Leffen and Westballs have not really liked each other since, I would say, about 2010, around the Kings of Cali 1 era, where Westballs was starting to, innovate his Westballs double shine pressure. Leffen thought it was a joke. It was very escapable. Technically, Leffen isn't wrong, but just belittling Westballs' knowledge of Falco, and so their I guess dislike for each other has gone way back to 5 to 6 years ago. Shenanigans, a lot of Twitter chatter. Westballs ends up dominating Leffen in winners finals. But then in losers finals, with the Twitter chatter, Westball's saying that Leffen really sucks, to put it nicely. He goes Samus and loses that game, and then kind of just gets outplayed the next two. What do I think about rivalries like this? I think it's great. Brings a lot of publicity to the game, and I'm a fan of rivalries. I don't think we have enough of them in Melee, especially in this era where everybody is super buddy and knows each other. Back in the day when YouTube matches weren't being uploaded every week and we didn't have people traveling together all the time, we really didn't see. There were a lot more rivalries because people didn't really know each other as much. So it was usually smash boards, chat comment wars where we would say my state is better than yours or my coast is better than yours. Not too much we see anymore. So it's a nice change of pace to actually see people who want to compete and beat each other. And I like it because it's authentic. It's an authentic rivalry. It's not fabricated. Whereas previously in the Salty Suites at Apex, we try to stimulate hate that didn't really exist. And it's really hard to get people to be really competitive against each other outside of a tournament environment. So Westball's Leffen really good. The only concern I have though is I thought that we were robbed of a great losers final set with Westball's going Samus. I really didn't think he took it fully serious. Although I'm not going to say Leffen didn't deserve the win. I felt that we could have gotten a better set. And so my worry is if this WWE rivalry kind of thing becomes a distraction to robbing us of good Melee. But as long as that barrier isn't compromised, I think it's fine. And as long as people don't get physically violent, although there's like a minor joking shoving match, I would really hope that it doesn't get to the level of personal hatred or physical violence. I think as long as it doesn't cross those lines, I think it's good. So overall, I think great tournament. Got to give props to the B6 staff, although they did run a little late. Props to Geeky Goon Squad for immediately uploading their videos and putting up an immediate array of features on their stream, stats, a betting thing that you could do before matches. I'm really impressed by them, and I hope that that you guys do help and support them. I know that they're financially struggling, and so that's pretty much my thoughts on B6. Make sure to give us a follow. I do have a goal here of trying to hit 100,000 followers on this YouTube channel, and everything helps. And so that's my thoughts.